Hey guys, this is the Overthinker and welcome to the channel. This is going to be a video talking about Khalil Mack and the trade, getting traded to the Chicago Bears, as well as the contract extension that just came up. Not sure what time that actually happened, but I found out about it, I think, about an hour ago. And yeah, usually when a player like that gets traded, there's usually some kind of contract in the works. And the player usually has different offers on the table. So that's definitely something that was probably in the plans all along. Now, as far as Khalil Mack on the Bears, that's very interesting considering the Bears already had a pretty solid defense, especially the front seven already was pretty good. And then they drafted Raekwon Smith, which Raekwon Smith might be the best linebacker since Patrick Willis to come out of the draft. He's definitely probably the most gifted linebacker since Patrick Willis to come out of the draft. Right, yeah, so for here at Schefter, we have the Bears contract for Khalil Mack. Looks like $141 million, 23.5 per year, and $90 million in guaranteed. I'm pretty sure that's more than Matthew Stafford got. I think I was looking at Matthew Stafford's contract the other day, and Matthew Stafford got $87 million guaranteed. So that is crazy for a defensive player to get that much money, but I think that's kind of where we are in today's age. Some of these players in the NFL are just really freaking good, and they do a good job on the field, and I think it's just worth having a player like that on your team. Now, I did hear a few radio stations talking about Khalil Mack for the Detroit Lions possibly trading for him, but most of them weren't really saying they wanted to give up, 2 first-round picks, which was basically the floor for getting Khalil Mack, and I'm pretty sure most people knew that. And, if you really think about it, the Lions, what are the Lions going to do with 2 first-round picks that it's going to be better than getting Khalil Mack? Because the Lions have not been very good in the first round. The Lions should have gave 3 first-round picks, in my opinion, to get a player like Khalil Mack, be one of the best players in the league. I would say Khalil Mack is the best pass rusher in the league. And I also would say he's the best linebacker in the league. I don't think he's just the best pass rusher, because Khalil Mack can actually do a lot more than just rush the passer. I've seen him play coverage. He's very good in zone coverage. He also is a dominant player versus the run. He's pretty much has no weakness as a linebacker. And for the rest of the NFC North, that's definitely not a good thing, because now we have to play against one of the best players in the league at their position. And I've seen a lot of these Aaron Rodgers memes. I try to find one here. Yeah, here's Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers seeing Khalil Mack in the NFC North, just throwing the tablet. That's just funny. I thought that was funny. But yeah, the Packers don't have a great offensive line. The Lions don't have a great offensive line. The Vikings have a pretty decent offensive line, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's elite. I don't know if anybody in this division really has, that one tackle that's going to be able to just block Khalil Mack on a consistent basis. It's not going to happen. That's definitely not good. And I think in particular for the Lions, you might say, oh, well, we have, a decent enough offensive line, outside of center and guard. But in the past, Khalil Mack for the Raiders has actually lined up on the inside sometimes in passing situations. Sometimes he will line up over your guard or over your center. And he can definitely do that. He can line up right on the inside and just walk your guard into the quarterback. He's that strong. He's definitely capable of lining up on the inside. So just saying, oh, Rick Wagner will be able to block him sometimes, I honestly don't think Rick Wagner can block him at all, but they can move him on the inside too. And then I guess that's what the Bears are getting here. Definitely one of the best players in the league, and I would say definitely the best linebacker in the league. In terms of overall performance, I think he can do everything really well. And I guess it's kind of crazy. We've been hearing about some of these contracts for quite a while, in the disputes, obviously. But and with Odell Beckham Jr. getting that huge contract extension, this definitely, I was a little surprised. I actually thought they might try to trade him just because of the things he does on the field sometimes, it definitely. I mean, I'm not a Giants fan, but I guess if I was, I would be skeptical of, I guess, how much he helps the team when, maybe he gets a 15-yard penalty every couple of games, for being a little too much. And then we also had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers just got the biggest contract extension in NFL history, I believe. Now the highest paid player. I mean, he definitely deserves that. Honestly, I think the Packers should just write a blank check and say, hey, here, how much do you want? You just take everything, just go ahead and take everything. But also you got to look, maybe that'll hurt the Packers coming up because, I mean, eventually they're going to have to re-sign guys like, what's his name, Blake Martinez, good linebacker. They also have Mike Daniels. I mean, they have some guys on that team that are going to have to be re-signed at some point that are going to make a good amount of money. And, that might hurt them in the long run here. I guess we'll see. And as far as Aaron Donald, definitely a very dominant player. Probably, I would say Aaron Donald is probably in my opinion, the best player in the league. I think he's better at his position than anybody else. He's pretty much doesn't take downs off, and he's just so dominant that it just makes it hard to do anything on offense because he's so freaking good. And he's pretty much unstoppable. So I definitely think Aaron Donald deserved everything he got. And I know some fans might say, oh, well, maybe he's, not the best locker room guy because he's holding out and stuff. That's definitely not true. I definitely think he had to hold out to get his money. And I definitely think that's very good for them. But I also think with signing Aaron Donald to that contract extension, and also they just signed Todd Gurley and Brandon Cooks, right? So that means for the Rams, I mean, are they going to be able to sign Jared Goff in a couple of years? Realistically, if you think about it, that's a lot of freaking money. Because Todd Gurley, I'm pretty sure he's making about, I think it was $18 million this season. Brandon Cooks, I believe it was somewhere around 15. It was a pretty good deal for Brandon Cooks as well. So that's basically 3 contracts, 2 of them which are paying the highest at that position in the NFL, right? So obviously, I mean, you're not going to be able to keep everybody around at those really, really high-paying deals. And also you got the Ndamukong Suh contract, which was a pretty decent contract. It wasn't outstanding, but it was a pretty good-looking contract. So I definitely think that the Rams are in a win-now mode, and if they don't win in the next couple of years, it's going to be ugly because they're not going to have any money. They're not going to have any money. It's going to be pretty bad. But yeah, I guess the NFC got a lot more competitive after, these last couple of days. I think all these contracts were actually in the NFC too. I didn't even think about that. Odell Beckham, Aaron Donald, Aaron Rodgers, Khalil Mack going to the Bears. I mean, pretty crazy stuff, man. It's going to be a very exciting year this year. I don't really know if the line's going to be, going to the playoffs this year. If you look at the NFC North, the Vikings, I think, got a little bit better. I don't think Kirk Cousins is much better than Case Keenum because Case Keenum actually played pretty freaking well last year. If you actually look at his stats, he averaged somewhere around 250 passing yards a game while not turning the ball over. That's pretty good. You won't find many quarterbacks in the league that can actually do that on a consistent basis without turning it over. There's a lot of teams in the NFL that really would like to have a quarterback that just does the job, Like if the Jaguars could get Case Keenum, they definitely would. But they can't because they signed Blake Bortles to a contract extension for some reason. And yeah, I guess this is just my thoughts on the last couple of days, some of these transactions that have happened. Definitely Khalil Mack, one of my favorite players in the NFL, along with Aaron Donald, actually. Probably my 2 favorite defensive players outside of J.J. Watt. I still like J.J. Watt more just because he's so good, as well as the things he does off the field, obviously. Yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just kind of a football talk video. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.